Hello, everybody. Thank you for following me in this study. I really hope that God's really speaking to your heart and your mind, and you're really learning what Christians believe, what we believe, and who God is, and who we are in God. So we are working from in week 3. We are working in Answers for Difficult Days, chapter or study number 3. The first 2 pages I will read to you in the study, and then you can go through the questions and the verses and everything. And the last part of this study, number 3, has a few more pages I'll read to you. So, man. What is the heart of man like? Man. We learn from Genesis that God created man from the dust of the ground. But we are also told that God breathed life into Adam to make him a living person. The ground made up the material, while the life of God made up the immaterial. Though we think of man as consisting of 2 parts, a material part and an immaterial, man is a unity. The immaterial was never intended to be separated from the material. Together they compose the whole man. That sounds to me like God in 3 persons, or the triune God. They are never to be separated. They are one. The material. The body is described in 2 Corinthians 5:1 as our earthly house, our temporary dwelling place. The material part of man is quite diverse, consisting of arms, legs, blood vessels, etc. The immaterial. The immaterial portion of man is described by a variety of words in the Bible. These words include soul, spirit, heart, will, etc. According to John Calvin, the soul consists of 2 parts, the intellect and the will. The heart is thought to be the seat of our emotions. The immaterial portion of man allows him to react mentally, emotionally, and volitionally within the capacity limits with which each has been endowed by the Creator. You behave by the exercise of your will under the influence of your mind and your emotions. And this process does not in itself require any visible activity on the part of the body. Your body is required only when you wish to give outward expression to your inward behavior. In other words, when you wish to communicate with your external circumstances, and the way in which you ultimately communicate by physical activity may far from represent your true internal behavior. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, external behavior. But war was in his heart, internal behavior. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Psalms 55:21, Ian Thomas. There is a children's book that asks this question: what makes a bird a bird? Of course, several ideas may come to mind. For example, flying, wings, nests, eggs. Though birds do fly, so do butterflies. That is not what distinguishes a bird from other created life. Yes, birds have wings, but so do flies. Although many birds do lay eggs in nests, so do some snakes. What makes a bird a bird? Feathers. What about man? What makes man a man? Is it his body? We need to know why we consider ourselves to be men as distinct from mere animals, and not just animals that happen to be called men. This is a very critical question for 20th century man, and will continue to be so for the 21st century. Dr. Schaefer has drawn the following diagram to illustrate the similarities between man, animals, plants, and machines, as well as to clarify the difference between them. I'll do my best to put this diagram in the post so you can see it. Man is distinct from animals, plants, and the machine part of creation because man, like God, is personal. However, man is like animals, plants, and the machine portion of the creation in that we are all finite. What is the essential difference between man as God intended and the rest of the animal kingdom? God has given to man what he has not given to any other form of created life, the human spirit, intrinsically indivisible from the human soul. As the marrow within the joints, so is the human spirit buried deep within the human soul, remaining essentially distinct, yet together forming that complete immaterial entity capable of endless survival after physical death, as opposed to the purely animal soul, common to the rest of the animal kingdom, which possesses no such capacity either to survive or to be held morally responsible beyond the grave. Ian Thomas. Okay, I will post the questions next. Thank you for listening.